everyone and welcome back to my channel. I hope you guys are doing good today. So in today's video, I am actually going to compare Bae products with Blue Heaven products. So a lot of the times both these brands I feel like have come up with very similar type of products where they feel the same, they look the same, they are very much similar in how they perform on the skin as well. So I am going to compare both of them side by side and tell you guys which one I prefer or which is going to suit your preference, so that you guys can make an informed decision before going in and purchasing both the products. So let's start with the video. Also, if you are someone who's new to my channel, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you like it here. I hope you like the vibe. I hope you like the content. If you end up liking the content, you can hit the subscribe button, along with that the notification bell as well. So let's get started with the video now. So the first thing I have for comparison here is the Blue Heaven Hydrating Skin Tint, and in the Bae side I have the Bae Bb Cream, the Bae Bb Cream. I feel like both these products are so similar to one another, where I feel like, you know, they have sheer coverage, they look like skin, you can wear them on a day-to-day basis and you can use your fingers to blend these products out. So I feel like the feeling or the product, you know, the consistency and everything, they apply the same on the skin. So let's first talk about the Blue Heaven Hydrating Skin Tint. So the Blue Heaven Hydrating Skin Tint is formulated with hyaluronic acid. The only difference I feel like the Blue Heaven has is a strong scent. The Blue Heaven one has an extremely strong scent to it, which is why I feel like a lot of people with sensitive skin might not like this. Also, I have seen that the Blue Heaven range, the shade range isn't that exclusive, isn't that inclusive. I feel like, you know, the shade range in the Blue Heaven one isn't that great. The shade range is very much going to suit medium to fair skin tone, but the shade range in the Bae one, the Bae BB Cream, I feel like is quite inclusive, and the Bae BB Cream doesn't have any distinctive scent to it. It does have maybe a mild fragrance. I actually cannot smell anything at all, so I just feel like if you have sensitive skin, acne prone skin, you might like the Bae one because it doesn't have any strong scent to it. The Bae one, however, is actually a little bit more dewy. The finish of the, you know, the hydrating skin tint from Blue Heaven is very skin-like. It's very natural, where it's not too dewy, not too matte. It exactly looks like skin. But the Bae one is a little bit, I would say, much more on the dewy side, much more on the glowy side. Also, I just wanted to point that out that, you know, the shade in my Bae BB Cream is a little bit more, I would say, you know, lighter. I definitely need to go and purchase a darker shade in the Bae one, but this is what I have been using for quite some time. But yes, I definitely had to point that out because, yeah, it can look a little bit patchy because you feel like, okay, this is a little bit lighter, but that's just totally because of the shade difference. In real, the Bae one looks exactly same, gives a very same coverage, which is sheer coverage like the Blue Heaven one, except the Bae is a little bit glowy. So if you have dry skin, you're going to like the Bae one. If you have oily skin or if you have combination skin, you are going to love the Blue Heaven one. It's totally up to you. It depends on your preference, what type, you know, you're going to choose. But I feel like both of them are pretty much the same. So the next product here that I put to the test is actually the concealer. So this is the pen concealer. This is the Erase and Enhance concealer from Blue Heaven. This is also a newly launched formula and newly launched product. And here the Bae liquid concealer, which has been, you know, been there for, I feel like, a year and a half. Yeah, I have been using this for quite some time. So yeah, this has been around for a really long time. The Blue Heaven one is a newer launch. Now let's talk about the consistency and the formulation of both the concealers. The formulation and the consistency of both the concealers are very similar. They give you a very, you know, like a dewy finish, a very natural finish. They look very skin-like and natural. But the only difference I find here is that the Blue Heaven one is actually very sheer coverage almost, which is why I don't prefer the Blue Heaven one. I feel like when it comes to concealers, I do want a little bit of that coverage, or else, you know, what is the point of even going in with the concealer, right? I can just go in with a BB cream and that's it. But if I'm using a concealer, I do need a little bit of coverage. I'm not talking about full coverage here. I'm talking about just a moderate amount of coverage. I feel like the Blue Heaven one is like too natural. It's like way too natural, where it does not cover up my dark circles at all. And let me tell you, I don't have that much of dark circles in the first place. So I just feel like for this one, I would prefer the NY Bae one, because it is exactly like the Blue Heaven one, except it gives a little bit more coverage and it looks natural and dewy and all of that. But yes, it does have a little bit more coverage, which you can use on a day-to-day basis. So for me, NY Bae one wins here. So the next we have in comparison is the Blue Heaven. This is the Lash Twist Curling Mascara. And then we have the NY Bae I Love Mascara. Now both these products are very similar to one another, where I feel like they just give a little bit of definition to one another. That's why I just wanted to give a comparison side by side. Now first of all, I do have to say that the Blue Heaven side actually is extremely natural. I mean, it just coats your lashes and that's it. It's not going to do anything else other than just coating your lashes. But I feel like the NY Bae one is also natural, but it does give you a little bit of definition, a little bit of volume, a little bit of length, a little bit of everything, where you can use this on a day-to-day basis. The Blue Heaven one, again, it's too natural, where it doesn't show up that much. I feel like I'm not wearing any mascara, so that is why I would personally prefer the NY Bae one. I feel like the formula of the NY Bae one is a little bit on the thicker side, although the price of the Blue Heaven one is extremely very less. It's very affordable, but I think I would prefer the NY Bae one, although it is not as I think the price of the NY Bae one is like around 200 rupees and the Blue Heaven one retails for 100 rupees. But I think the NY Bae one here performs much more better than the Blue Heaven one. So the next comparison we have here is blush. Cream blush specifically. Now I wanted to do this comparison for the longest time because you guys have been asking me the difference between the NY Bae liquid blushes and the Blue Heaven cream blush. So I did a comparison side by side. Now you might be wondering, the makeup that I did on the shorts, like on the clip shorts, is not matching with the makeup that I have on right now. Actually, I filmed it today in the morning earlier. This is like afternoon. My clip, which I was talking about the products, got distorted and it had no audio, so I had to put on some makeup again, and yeah, I just did a little bit of different makeup, so that's why my makeup looks a little bit different. Anyway, let's talk about these blushes now. So first, let's come to the quality or how the blushes perform. Both these blushes are extremely natural. They look amazing on the skin, gives you a very nice dewy finish. They look super gorgeous. I love both these blushes equally. Now the difference between both these blushes are, one is a cream blush, the Blue Heaven one is a cream blush, and the NY Bae one is a liquid blush. Now the Blue Heaven one, I do have to tell you guys, it is again a very dewy blush, where it's not going to suit for Indian summer weather conditions. I mean, for me, I feel like it's not going to suit humid weathers at all, and I am not wearing this blush as much as I did in my winter season. I am not wearing this blush that much because I feel like during summer it slips and slides. Although it does have good amount of pigmentation, it does slip and slide, and I like to use this during my winter days. So I just feel like the Blue Heaven one, although it is amazing, it is glowy, it is dewy, it's natural, affordable, all of that, this is just good for winter season and not good for oily skin at all. Next comes the NY Bae blush. I feel like when you compare the NY Bae blush with the Blue Heaven one, the NY Bae blush just performs a little bit better, so especially because like in this summer season, I feel like the NY Bae blushes are really good for this season. They are not they do not slip and slide. Once they stay on, they stay on. They do have that glowiness they do, but it's super natural and it's not like the Blue Heaven one. The Blue Heaven one, the glow, the dew that you can see on the skin, you can just wear it in the winter season, but the glow and dew that you get from the NY Bae liquid blushes, you can wear it in the summer season as well. And over time, when you start using the NY Bae blushes, after a while it does settle into a very semi matte finish, where it's not overly dewy, it's not overly matte, it's somewhere right in between. So I feel like a variety of skin types can use this. I feel like oily skin people, combination skin people, dry skin people can also use this during the summer season, and I just don't think that you're going to find this uncomfortable. Also, the pigmentation of the NYB blushes are very moderate, where it's not highly pigmented, but it's not like sheer coverage. So it does have pretty decent coverage for the blushes, but they look extremely natural on the skin. So for this, I would say that the NYB blushes are good for summers and the Blue Heaven blush is good for winters. There is no sides here. It's just the weather conditions, the different weather conditions. I prefer different makeup. So for me, both wins here actually. So the next product that I put to the test here is the NYB Lip and Cheek Tint, and here is the lip tint from Blue Heaven. Now if you guys have been seeing my videos, if you guys have been looking through my videos, then you would totally know which one I would prefer. I prefer the Blue Heaven one over the NYB one completely and totally. I have to tell you guys, the NYB one isn't that great. I don't like the NYB lip stain because honestly, when you look into the video footage, you cannot see a difference. I mean, it does look good, the pigmentation is good, the way it looks on my lips is good, but over time when I was wearing this lip stain, what happened was it settled into the lines of my lips. Even if I don't have that much of lines, it accentuated my lines so much, and it looks super patchy. I do not like the formula of this lip stain at all because I feel like over time it looks patchy. It doesn't sit nicely on my skin and on my lips. I mean, it doesn't sit nicely on my lips, and it does not look like natural. You know what I'm trying to say? It doesn't look effortless is what I want to say. But the Blue Heaven one actually looks super good. Even after the tint is gone, the color is gone, it just leaves a very nice natural tint on your lips, and it looks like it's your lips but just you know, a shade darker than your natural lips. If you have pigmented lips, I feel like you're still going to love it, and it's never patchy. I have two shades in the Blue Heaven one. The Blue Heaven one is hands down one of my favorite lip tints. It does not matter if I'm comparing it with NYB, it does not matter if I'm comparing with any other lip tints that I have. I just feel like the Blue Heaven one just wins every single time, and I believe this is one of the best lip tints out there. Even, you know, when you compare with the price, I mean, it's so good for its price. I really love the lip tints from Blue Heaven a lot. The formula is amazing. So here, obviously, the Blue Heaven wins. The next product we have here is the lip gloss. The lip gloss that I am actually wearing. I am wearing the NYB lip gloss in the shade Caramel Cashew. Now, with this lip gloss, actually, I love both the lip glosses. I definitely have to tell you guys, I love both the lip glosses. I don't think so there is a winner here. I don't think so I'll be choosing sides here because both the lip glosses are very different. Now let me tell you about the NYB lip gloss. The NYB lip gloss it doesn't have high shine like the Blue Heaven one. It has good shine, like moderate amount of shine. It has good pigmentation. The pigmentation here is really good. You do not have to go in with the extra layer of lipstick. You don't even have to outline your lips. I feel like using just this is really good. It just feels like a lip balm. It's not sticky at all. It's super comfortable to wear, the NYB one. The Blue Heaven one is actually a long-lasting lip gloss. I feel like it's definitely one of the most long-lasting lip glosses that I have in my collection. The next thing about the Blue Heaven one is that it makes your lips super juicy, like very juicy, and you know, I love the way that the Blue Heaven one looks. So whenever I feel like I really want the juicy pouty lips, I go in with the Blue Heaven one, and when I feel like I don't have time, I just have to rush outside, I cannot outline my lips, I'll just carry this in my purse, then I just grab the NYB one. The NYB one feels like a lip balm to me. The Blue Heaven one is a little bit on the thicker side, and that is why I feel like it lasts longer, but the NYB one is more comfortable. So it's up to you which one you want to choose, because I feel like both of them are quite different. On some days I prefer the Blue Heaven one, on some days I'll prefer the NYB one. So I just feel like both the formulation is really good. It's your choice, it's your preference which one you want to choose. For me, I just love both of them equally. So the last product in comparison that we have here is the Blue Heaven Setting Spray against the NYB Setting Spray, and it's in the dewy format. Now the NYB Setting Spray comes in two different formats. One is matte, one is dewy, and I love how it performs on the skin. But for me, I would choose the Blue Heaven one because You can use this as your, as a prep up spray, for example, like a primer spray. You can use the Blue Heaven one. Second thing is that it's not as fragrance, it's not as it doesn't have that strong scent to it like the NYB one. The huge, I would say, disadvantage of the NYB setting spray is that the smell of it, I do not like the smell of it. It feels like a fragrance when I just spray it on my face. I feel like I am spraying a perfume. It's that fragrance. So I feel like a lot of people with sensitive skin, they are going to break out. Now you feel like, okay, this is extremely inexpensive. This retails for $1.99 and it contains 30 ml of product. The Blue Heaven one retails for 350 rupees, I believe. Yeah, 350 rupees, and it has 60 ml of product. So the Blue Heaven one has actually double the product, and that way when you look at it, I feel like the Blue Heaven one is extremely inexpensive, like 50 rupees inexpensive. And also the Blue Heaven one doesn't have that distinct, like that. Yeah, the Blue Heaven one actually smells very nice. It smells like vanilla and coconut, but it doesn't linger on. The NYB, it does linger on your skin, and the Blue Heaven one gives you a very nice, I would say, semi-matte finish, where it's not completely matte, it's not too dewy. And I feel like the NYB one also in the dewy department, it's quite good. I mean, it's not bad. The product itself isn't bad, except the fragrance is just too much. So I will prefer the Blue Heaven one any day over the NYB setting spray. So that was it for today's video. I just wanted to compare some products that I feel like are very similar to one another. Maybe you guys are confused which one to buy, which one performs better, which one is for your makeup style, preference, choice, anything like that. I just wanted to compare them side by side so that you can see and have a clear, clear idea what you want to get. So yeah, I hope this video was helpful to you. Anyway, if you are someone who's new to my channel, you can hit the subscribe button and along with that the notification bell as well, because that way you are going to get notified every time I upload a video, which is almost every single day. So anyway, thank you so much for watching. I love you guys a lot, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye.